Hey guys, Vazzy back here, and in today's video I did want to address the issue here with players being cut in franchise mode, and it's a lot bigger of an issue than I originally thought. Took a couple of days to look into this, and there is some definite issues going on here with this game. So starting things off, let's start at the beginning of the problem. So if you go and edit anyone who is drafted in 2024, I'm going to use Anton Salaev here for an example, you will know that 2024 does not exist as a draft year. I brought this up in a prior video this week, kind of explained I had everyone set as 2023, and in theory that should work, but it's not that simple. So like I said, you can't assign anyone as 2024 at the moment. So when you assign someone as 2023, it'll give the computer 1 year to sign them. That's why you're not seeing guys like this go to UFA right away. But basically, when you have all the real players drafted in 2023 that are looking for a contract, and then you basically add in a whole nother draft class of guys that were drafted in 2024 but set as 2023, that's going to overwhelm the AI, and it's going to have a lot more guys looking for a contract. And a lot of the time, the teams aren't going to have space to sign all those guys. And that's going to result in roster cuts. And of course, you could say, oh, it's as easy as whenever they patch it, just go and fix them all as 2024 players. And that would work, of course. And I will end up doing that when that happens. But the issue is that is far from the problem here that I have ended up discovering. So let's go back to the main menu here. And let's go start up just a totally brand new franchise mode here. And I'll kind of show you guys what I'm talking about here. Oh, let me actually just go set that as the default EA rosters. I want to start with that, and I will kind of show you guys my point here. So this is going to be using the base game rosters. This is nothing from myself. So let me set this up. I'll skip the setup and everything, and then I'll meet you guys in franchise mode. Alright, so we are in franchise mode here. This is the base game rosters that anybody can download. This is what you will be set at as a default currently. Let's go to the Minnesota Wild. So player I want to look at, he fits all the criteria, that being Aaron Kiviharju. He is an unsigned prospect in real life and in the game. He is a 4th round pick in this year's draft, and you'll see he has 2 full years before he is a UFA and needs his entry-level contract. That all makes sense. That's how it should be in game. You'll see here in his profile, 4th round pick, 122nd overall by the Minnesota Wild. That makes total sense and everything is good. So remember that, and I'm going to come back to you guys with a future example of how this is an issue when editing players. So let me just check. Okay, we are still on the EA rosters. Let's go find Kiviharju here in the menu. So he is in the Liga. I believe he's actually just on the first team here. Sort by potential, and there he is. He has his low top 6, still a 4th round pick of the Wild. That's awesome. Let's go into his profile here. Let's go see Kiviharju. So everything is fine. Let's go into his details. You'll see here that now his draft year is undrafted. That's really weird. That's because the 2024 draft is missing for custom players. Apparently that actually does go for in-game players as well. So now that we edited him, technically we create a new save file being a custom roster. He becomes an undrafted player. You can do this with any player that was drafted in 2024. And you may think, oh, that's, not a huge issue. Whatever, he doesn't have a draft year. That is going to mess up quite a bit of things here. So now let me go start up another franchise mode with this current save file, the one without a draft year for Kiviharju, and then I'll show you guys what happens then. Alright, so we're back in franchise mode, and remember, this is EA's base ratings. The only difference is we went into Kiviharju's profile and we saved it. That does create a custom roster, but we technically didn't change the player at all. So let's go find defenseman. There's Kiviharju, still on the roster, but now he has a contract, and now he is a restricted free agent at year's end. And the issue is, he's going to be needing a contract in 24-25. When you add in all those created players, like I have from the 2024 draft, Dean Letourneau, Anton Salaev, that are all needing contracts at this very year, because in the creation zone we had to start that a year early, so that means they become a free agent a year early. That means all these contracts are going to be coming up at once, and that's going to totally mess up the AI. Plus, you just have guys they need to re-sign. Plus, you have guys that they just want to sign in free agency, and there is going to be, pretty decent roster cuts right there. And the issue is, since this is technically a custom roster, and anybody who's editing players on any platform, I'm assuming would be experiencing the same thing. I don't know if that's something that EA can patch, because it is technically a custom roster, it's not their own. I'm guessing they could fix it to a point where anything going forward would work fine and everything. But I don't know if they could go back in, because normally you can't edit players like that are created by EA, like a Kiviharu, like a Carter Yakimachuk, like a, I don't know, I can go on and on with all these examples. But I don't know if you can actually give those players back a draft year in game. You can definitely do it with created players. You can just change their birthday and make it all work. But I don't know if you can do that with players that EA already has in the game. So definitely in a very rough spot right now. And I guess we're going to kind of have to wait and see what happens with the first patch. But just, jumping ahead here, going back to one of my custom roster files. So I want to show you guys what free agency looks like here currently, at least what myself and Tactics have been experiencing here. So you go to sign free agency. This is the first summer. You go and sort by potential, go unrestricted free agency. So two guys that really stand out are Ryder Ritchie, Henry Muse. You have a few others there. These are EA created guys in game. So since myself and Tactics edited them, they lose the draft year. And I'm guessing that their teams that drafted them just don't have the contract spots or whatever. And really, even if they were to become free agents, they shouldn't be even available to be a UFA for another year. Going to goalies, it's not great as well again. You have Emil Vinny, another EA created player, but it seems like the more and more players you add to it, the more and more the issue gets larger, just because there's more for the AI to deal with. There's more just general mess that ends up coming with all that. So I'm not really sure what's going to end up happening here. I hope they patch it. I hope they address it somehow, but I don't know if it's even as simple as just adding in the 2024 draft year for created players. Because if we can't go back and already edit the ones that are already in game, then, we'll maybe have to go in and artificially give them a contract so they don't get released. But it's very, very messy here. But I wanted to try and get you guys some answers. I know I've seen a lot of comments saying, like, why are all these guys getting dropped? Kind of was scared I did something wrong or anything like that. But everything is set up the way it should be. It's just, the game is not in a great state at the moment. But sorry, I just wanted to explain that to you guys here today. And at least try and get you some answers on this. But I think that will do it for today's video. Hopefully we see a patch soon. If there is, I'll definitely update you guys. But that'll do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video.